Hello, welcome back for some Wilson and Blackett. This time, I could keep laying into Cadu, but what's the point? Anyway, I am going to do some more actually. But anyway, this is I'm currently working on getting this book ready for reprinting, republication. As I said, it's going to be the American bit and the other bits, 2 separate volumes. Anyway, here's something about the Comet I thought was interesting, because what we've done in here is show the amount of scientific evidence that's gone on to show there was a comet in the mid-6th century, and loads of astrophysicists and that kind of stuff, but historians and then politicians like, no, it's absolute idiocy. Bizarre, isn't it? So I'm just going to read, if you don't mind, for this one. So while no other historians in Britain were willing to hazard their careers by entering the forbidden history territory and writing about the politically unmentionable, the physicists, the astrophysicists, the astronomers, the senior military officers of other countries, talks about America getting worried about asteroids, and other professional scientists around the world were unaware of the prohibition. No one told them you couldn't talk about it. A large, potentially immensely destructive asteroid that passed too close to planet Earth for comfort was recorded by an American military space satellite. Previously, the leading astronomers had been persuading governments to pour vast sums in a pointless, futile and wasteful pursuit of the Big Bang origin of the universe. Now, however, the real danger posed to mankind from comets and asteroids that was clearly recognised and recorded in ancient historical times was finally understood by 20th century politicians. So, well-funded research began, and international conferences were held around the world to examine the real danger from comets and asteroids, even bypassing the politics of the Cold War. Vital to these studies are historical records of comet disasters and of the near passage of comets and asteroids close to Earth. One brave researcher was Dr. Victor Klube of the Astrophysics Department at Oxford University, who was prepared to openly recognise the mid-6th century British disaster described in the De Excidio as being the result of a scatter of comet debris striking Britain. The main body of the comet, or whatever it was, may not have struck Britain, but part of the huge shower of boulders and debris whistling along in the comet train certainly showered the land. The wreckage was massive, and Dr. Klube estimated that it would have been the equivalent to a strike of some 100 Hiroshima atomic bombs. This should have opened up the study of British historical records, but vested interests protecting public or bubble reputations, grants, funds, publications and so on were deemed to be more important. So, Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett had already published a notice of the comet strike in 1986, before Dr. Victor Klube's announcement, and well before the asteroid frightened the American military were left isolated. The clear explanation of how and why the British Arthurian kingdom began its decline and collapse exactly as is stated in detail in the much abused, truthful and accurate records remains a no-go area. Anything that does not conform to the past 300 years of political policy is still classified as allegedly forged records. It raises the questions of why the ministers of state, who have never read any of Wilson and Blackett's books, write letters declaring them to be idiots. Paradoxically, the university employed astronomers and astrophysicists are declared to be reputable and respected men, which undoubtedly many of them are, whilst using at least some of the same data and coming up with the same conclusions in far greater detail. Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett are labelled as misguided fools, and far worse. So would any alleged forger fabricating away 200 years ago have dared to invent a record stating that many centuries ago, for a period of 9 days and nights, the whole land was lit up as bright daylight for 24 hours a day? No forger would dare invent it, yet this is precisely what happened in 1908 after the Tunguska event. Learning of Dr. Klube's initiatives, Wilson and Blackett were further motivated in attempting to date the British disaster and to seek for records of sightings of stones which fell and of directions from which comets arrived. They were already on the historical trail of another potentially dangerous comet with a periodicity of around 678 years, the record of which had again passed unnoticed. Covered that in some other videos, and then something we'll have a comic book out soon. And we got what Gregory of Tours records. There's loads more they've found since this book was written. All that be going in the comic book as well. It just talks about the ridiculousness of the silence that's greeted it book in 1886. There's no reaction at all to this comet thing. You just get ridiculed and called all sorts of horrible things. We've also got we talk about the Port Mine Mound, or the Great Stone Port off Cardiff, off the docks there, which I will be going next low tide. Unfortunately, the weather was against us last low tide, and I'll be doing some filming, so you can still see it. You need a special tide, because it's the 7, which is very tidal. So it already goes up and down a lot. You need the right tides and time of day and all sorts of things. So you can't just turn up whenever you like. Time and tide waits for no man, as the old saying goes. Alright, so all the other physical evidence we got, ruins of churches, vitrifications, all sorts of things. But anyway, astronomers and others might do well to note this. Something caused North Africa to turn from an area dotted with great Roman cities and the grain basket of Rome into an infertile desert area in the late 6th century AD. Ancient cities lie stranded in ruins, like the bones of schools of giant whales, high and dry on a sand beach. Alright, some more clips from here soon. So hope you enjoyed that. Till next time, Hello.